Okay, you can call me a liar. I had hoped to do color or city placement or something like that, but I've still got to do glaciers. And glaciers for me are an interesting kind of thing. Usually I draw them like this to represent it as ice flow that has kind of ripped into and over the land and kind of juts out into the ocean in a very kind of spiky way. And then I just kind of do these kind of very jaggedy kind of V's and W's and things to just give the guys a sense that it's hard pack ice. It's almost spiky, kind of dangerous to go onto, unless of course you're a barbarian or Inuit or something like that. Excuse me. So I do a glacier there. I don't think I want to do one down here. No, that's it. Okay, so finally you could add in things like plains or hills or farmland if you really wanted to, and however you want to represent those, you can come up with it. I'm now going to do castles. So what I usually do is I have a castle which acts as a focal point, and then around that you might have little towns or villages or hamlets or whatever it is you want in descending order. And this is the only time that I will use copy and paste, and the reason is simply because it is a representation of an area that is controlled by a town. And you could argue that you would have a map of the city in more detail for the players to look at. So it helps standardize what's on the map. So normally I go in at about 300, actually I'm going to go in at 400% here, and I am going to do my very best to draw a town. So I'm going to go, right, we have a tower, and the tower has battlements. Okay, so at this point I'm really drawing almost pixel by pixel, and the tower's got a little cross in it. Okay, and then there is a keep, which usually sits dominant over the towers. One more, and that's going to kind of come down there. Here's my other tower. Oops. Okay, and give that the plus sign, and then that'll have a drawbridge, which we'll put there, sticking out for all to see with ropes up. The chains that will pull that drawbridge closed in the event of an emergency. Let's give it some arrow slots there, and some more up here. And then, because we want this to be a major town, we then will have a tower which sticks out the top, because of course this is a slate roof. Give it a little bit of a window, maybe one more set of parapets in the background, just to make it feel more like a city. And then we'll give it a flagpole, just a U shape, a square, and then a pennant type shape. And, well, it might be a little bit stretched, I don't know, but we'll go with that as our symbol of a city. And if I zoom out, it's quite big actually. So again, we have that wonderful power at our fingertips, just to select it and shrink it down to whatever size we want it to be. So now the quick question comes in is, do you want all your cities to look the same? And for me, the answer is yes. This is where we are at the surreal point, if you like. We are just marking out territory. So now you should start thinking, okay, so if I've got a fortress there, and oh, I love it when it does that. I hate that. If anyone knows how to stop it from selecting the central point, let me know. You see, it's so irritating. Anyway, so we're going to come in here. Hold down the Alt button if you didn't know. And sometimes there we go. Hold down the Alt button and that allows you to make a duplicate of the shape. I hadn't selected the right point. So you can now start to think, okay, well, I want a giant fortress in there. I want maybe another one controlling this harbor there. Let's bring one here. And let's put one there. And let's put one here. I don't know if you heard that loud chime on my computer. I haven't got a clue what that was. But my computer hasn't set on fire yet, so we'll live with it. Oh, there's that noise again. Anyway, then I'm going to take this one and bring it down here, because that's a good place. If I was a king, I would put a castle there. Maybe we need someone who's in charge of these islands. So let's put their fortress right in the middle, because who needs a harbor? And then we mustn't forget about up here. There needs to be someone on the coast. Let's put them there. And our barbarians in the north, or our hill giants or frost giants or whatever might be. Oh, and we definitely need the source of our road. So let's put them there. Okay, so that is quite comfortably a good layout of castles. So now I'm just going to collapse this layer down, because then we can turn it off and on so we can see our castles. I'm then going to go right next to it and draw what we would call a town. So let's make a new layer, town, and oops, let's say the town has one battlement like that, and then a wall, and another battlement. It's a terrible looking town. And then it's got rooftops, buildings, and that kind of thing. And it doesn't have a drawbridge, but it does have a town entrance. So let's say that that is our town, and you can really experiment with whatever it is that you like. And of course it's a town, so it's got to be smaller, right? So then we say, well, maybe there's a town that sprang up here, and you wash, rinse and repeat, just asking yourself questions. Where would I be if I was a town and I was trying to survive? Well, maybe you'd be here. And let's put another one over here. Usually towns sort of favor coastal positions because it gives them easy access to food and other supplies that they might need. And you can decide how populous do you want your world do you want it very populated? And you don't yet have to decide on the race either. You can, if you like, and say, okay, well, this area is quite densely populated, so there's that noise again. Really? Doesn't like me tonight. Let's put them there. That's going to be a horrid city. They're right next to that giant bog. There's lots of mosquitoes, pestilence all over the place. It's going to be a really fun time when we send the players there. Do we want this little city here? No, let's put it there. Closest you're going to get. Oh, and of course my favorite little continent. Well, thing. There's the little city. Oops. The little city that couldn't. All right. You can, if you're really desperate, go in and put little dots for villages and things. I again used to do that, and I've got lots of maps where I spent hours drawing in. Oh, there should be a little city here, or there should be a little something there. It's really not worth it, in my opinion. It isn't worth it because, well, people just don't really care. They want to go on an adventure. They don't want to sit staring at maps all day. Okay, and I am officially... No, that would be silly. Why would they build it not near the coast? There's a good one. And we're going to have a chain. Okay, so those are service towns that kind of grew up. And we're coming down here. Again, if you were to draw each little town by hand, I do think at some point you'd go mad. I think you'd actually go insane. Because they do require quite fine detail to kind of make sense. Okay, and that's it. I promise the next tutorial we are coloring in the map.